Hello, and in this brief video, we're going to talk about how to make dubstep, the fundamentals of specifically the drop of dubstep and what it takes to make great sounding dubstep. It's going to be a pretty quick one, so stick around. I'm going to drop a lot of value in this, a lot of knowledge that I've accumulated over the years of my dubstep productions. Let's get right into it. Here's what you need. You need great drums, proper sub bass, proper sound design. If you have these, you're going to have pro quality. And you're going to have pro quality dubstep specifically. Now, let's go into this. Looking at the drop, there's really three fundamental pieces that are in place. Step one is the drums. That's what we're going to talk about first in this video. Okay? It is pretty straightforward. You just have to know how to do it. We are not going to pull down our kick drum. We're going to keep our kick drum right at 0 dB. We're going to choose a fat kick drum, and we're not going to go crazy with the sampling. With the processing of it, and that's it. You're going to put a kick drum on the downbeat of every measure, and on the third beat of every measure, you're either going to use a snare or a clap or a combination of a kick and a clap or a kick and a snare or a snare and a clap, kind of like that. So I've duplicated the kick, made it a little quieter, and then layered it with this other clap, but it's actually a kick clap. And so together, we have a kick and a clap on the third beat. And then on top of that, I just have some shakers and hi-hats. You're going to want to put these on the downbeat, like that. Make your own samples, use samples, doesn't really matter in my opinion. It's always nice to know how to make them, but I like to use samples. I do know how to make some sounds too, more than some. But that's our drums. On the drums bus, hard clip, okay? No limiting, no soft clipping, hard clip your drums on the bus, all right? This is gonna instantly reduce the dynamic range and it's gonna start to control it on the way up to the master. Now, that's the first part. Secondly, we're gonna talk sub bass. The sub bass simply needs to be the proper volume, okay? How do you know? Span. Let me actually come down to the sub bass really quickly in the key of B flat major. Okay, boom. You're going to download the plugin Voxtango Span. It's free, and then you're going to open it up in your master, and you're going to make sure your sub bass is approximately -15, -14 to -18 in that range. And when I say the sub bass, I'm talking about the fundamental frequency of the sub bass, as you can see here. So you can see the height of this is about -15 dB. Let's clearly clarify that this is not the actual level of the sub bass. In fact, it's scaled. The actual sub bass level is going to be more like this. So don't be fooled. The sub bass and the high end are not the same volume. No, they're not even close actually. But Span here applies a rotation to account for the fact that our ears are very much less sensitive to lower frequencies. And it is for that reason as well, by the way, that we have the subwoofer and not the 1000 hertz woofer. As you can see, when I rotate this, it's gonna bring that frequency balance flatter. And it is in that scaling that we're gonna look for that -14 to -19 number. Boom, that's it. Great drums and proper sub bass, just those two things alone, if you get those right, you're gonna have a very solid foundation for your drop. And from there, it is only a matter of getting the sound design. That's it. Seriously, it's like actually that simple. So here's just the drums and the sub bass. So you can hear how that sounds. I do have this little vocal here, but it's like really easy to add that. Again, drums, this is just the drums and the sub bass. This is 2 out of the 3 things you need to have a great dubstep drop. For you loudness nerds, you could see this is already hitting -4 without any sound design. Dubstep's a loud genre, so we're gonna need to clip, okay? Doesn't mean it can't be clean, but we do have to clip. That's why I hard clip my drums. And yeah, if you've been watching my videos, you know that this is another thing that I do, where I bring down the low end before I clip and I boost it after, and then I clip that. But that's a little more advanced, so I'm not gonna be talking about that. This is gonna be a high level video on just how to make a drop at a high level. All right, the third part is the sound design, and proper sound design I would say is the most difficult part, but I would say proper sound design fills the frequency spectrum and sounds cool. If you do those two things, if you make sounds that fill the frequency spectrum and that sound cool, and you have the sub bass, you have the drums, and you mix them in the way that I showed you, you're gonna have a banging drop. And now it can be difficult sometimes to know, oh, well, how do I know if my sound design is proper? It can be kind of subjective. It can be kind of tricky. There are definitely things that I look for to determine if it's proper, but generally it's a combination of how does it look and span, and just how does it sound? And does it sound cool? Does it sound clear? Does it talk? Like, do the sounds talk? And what are the shapes of the sounds? In this case, this is actually a remix. However, I am making and using 90% original stuff in the drop. This is something I took from the original song. So this sound by itself is kind of weird. But in context, it's a nice layer. All right, and then I have this scream that I made. So then here's the third part, soloed. Like, this is only the sound design. Okay, now if we add the sub bass in, how is that gonna sound? So you see how the sound design is just very full. You see how it's very rich. You see how it's filling up the potential frequencies that we can possibly hear as humans. I'm always kind of looking for that type of shape that I'm drawing with my mouse, where it kind of levels out up here and it's really full, and then it just kind of slowly goes down like that. And if you get that, then that's good, because you know your stuff's gonna be really full. For example, this sound, you see how full and rich this sound is? You see how we have all these like rich harmonics up here, and then, you know, down here it gets a little more sparse, but it's really rich. And a big way to achieve that richness is through compression, multiband compression typically, and also boosting your sounds in the mid-range. But then firstly and most importantly, actually engineering good sounds in the beginning that have many harmonics and that are rich. So that's why I always recommend, when you do sound design, simply choose rich waveforms from the beginning so that we have that richness, so that we have that fullness baked into the sound, so that by the time we do these steps where we're adding some filter motion, some distortion, some compression, it's already going to sound really full, and it's going to be very simple. It's going to be very easy to fill the mix with not a lot of layers. Here's another drop. Okay, we got one more. As you can see, this is very clipped. You cannot make dubstep without clipping. Well, in 2025, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, we're going loud here. We're going loud. We're going aggressive. It's a stylistic thing. It's probably a mastering engineer's worst nightmare. I'm not really worried about that, because it's a stylistic thing. We're going loud. And that's kind of the fourth part of this that I didn't really think I was going to talk about. But yeah, you're going to go pretty loud. We're going to go pretty compressed. It is a stylistic thing of the genre, and it's just a big part of what makes it so fat and rich and cool, in my opinion. So yeah, that's really it, guys. That is the fundamentals of how you make a banging dubstep drop. There's obviously a lot more in detail, but this is really it at a high level. If you want to learn more, if you want my help doing this yourself, let me know. I have a link in the description. I do help people with this all the time. I have a Discord. You can join your Discord. You'll have your own channel just like this, and you'll get unlimited feedback on all your music for 6 months and unlimited one-on-one time with me for 6 months. And I'll teach you how to make bangers, and you're going to understand how to make professional sounding music in 6 months or less. And it'll probably happen sooner if you're really committed to it. So, yep, you'll get videos feedback like this. I'll send you all my samples, all my tricks. There's no gatekeeping. If you join, you win. It's that simple. But thank you for watching. And go give this a try. Let me know if you like this video. This one's a little shorter, a little more to the point, a little more high level. See you later.